What's up, guys? I am James Baney, and you are watching the Clone Wars Fan Show. Today we're going to be talking about Season 7, Episode 5, Gone with a Trace is the name of the episode. Little wink there, little foreshadowing to the character name. Before we get into the nitty-gritty details of the episode and talking it out, having a discussion, we got to do that little thing where we rate the episode right up front. So, I am probably going to give this episode a 6. So far, surprisingly, it's the lowest episode of the season so far. And there is a reason for that. Maybe a little bit of anticipation of like, okay, we're done with this section. We're getting into the Ahsoka stuff. Let's go. And this episode doesn't go anywhere. It sets up some of the characters, the situation where they're in, the 1313 kind of area as a whole, lifestyles of people outside of the Jedi Order. There's a lot that it sets up, but all in all, I feel like if I was rewatching the Clone Wars and I approached this episode and it was like, oh yeah, this is the one where they like meet those characters and they have to like destroy the droids or whatever, I would go, I could skip this one because I saw it once. I remember what happened. And there's nothing really like crazy about it. It was just an introduction to some of these other characters. That isn't to say that I didn't like the episode. I had a good time watching it. There were some interesting fight moves, choreography, if you will. Getting to know, like I said, everything before about the world that she's now getting ready to enter. I'm cool with all that. I just got to say, as an episode that I would say like what are the ones that I want to check out, I'm gonna go for like everything in the probably 7s and above. I don't know, I just think this one wasn't that crazy. But let's start talking about it. Let's actually get into the details and let's just chat through the episode and see what popped out to us. So the episode basically starts right away with something that we had seen before. This was one of the clips that they showed us at Star Wars Celebration. So if you didn't get to go, I don't think that they put this online. So this may be the first time you're seeing it, but we had seen it before. And I remember even the very first time I watched it, I was like, I don't like the whole like running on the side of the wall thing. It's fine if you want to say like she's flying along, the bike breaks, and she gets thrown down this pit or whatever. What actually is legitimately scary to me is once she gets it back under control and it just cuts out altogether and she starts falling directly. That is like nightmare fuel to me. I'm like, I can really picture like just being in the center and it dropping out and that being very scary. So, but we had seen this scene before. We'd seen that she kind of saves it, and we were introduced to the character trace as she like walks out or whatever. So, not a too big surprise, but I will say one thing, and I'll just get it out of the way. I hate that haircut. It looks dumb, but that's fine with me. It's a Star Wars world, and people have probably said that about many a haircut before. So this is our first confirmation that she is on 1313. Trace says that's the way that it is around here. It's not, like the upper levels and stuff. 1313 is a different game. I don't think that was the word specifically, but it was an interesting choice of words for me right then because 1313 was famously this video game that was supposed to come out and people were really excited about it, and then it just got like scrapped. So I think people have been interested in seeing the world of 1313 before, and I believe that it has been touched on in a novel. I'm blanking on the novel. Maybe the second Aftermath, I think. Maybe. I can't remember. I'd have to give it some thought. I can't remember which one it was, but somebody had to go to 1313 to get some information. Man, I'm really blanking right now, but 1313. But I gotta say this. What is this deal? What is the deal? What's going on with this deal? Like, I'll fix your bike. Oh, never mind. I can fix it. I just need tools. Well, tools cost money. I don't have any money. All right, fine. You're hired? Is that what she said? But it's going to cost you some money. I'm looking forward to the money. She just said she didn't have any money. Why did you just hire her? She didn't hire her. She said that she could go ahead and use it. I'm very, very confused. I don't know what deal just happened, but it was the weirdest way to get two people to work together. And I think the goal here was to say, this is how Trace is. She's a good person. Despite the person not having money, she was still like, that's fine. You can use it. It's on the house or whatever. But it's also 1313, and I don't know. It was weird. I would like to have seen Ahsoka make some sort of promise that if you let me use the tools, or maybe if you give me a job, I could help repay you in other ways. But it was just a weird, I don't know, weird goal or weird confrontation that they had here. Not even a confrontation, weird just thing that happened. I didn't like it. But then what I did like is immediately after that shot, she turns around and there's this really cool shot of the ship rising up, and then Ahsoka's looking up at the tunnel that's in the ground, and it's just she's so deep in there, and the people, it's just this idea that this is a lot of people's every day. They don't ever leave this area. I don't want to say slums, even though I think that's kind of what 1313 is supposed to be. But it's she has had so many journeys across the galaxy, and here she is in this world. She's like, how did I get down here? But then again, seeing how busy it is and how many ships there are, and you can just imagine how many people are living on every single one of those levels. I don't know. It's crazy. It just is, it's really cool to see Ahsoka just gather all of that really quickly in one shot. Good filmmaking, if you ask me. This is also funny too, because it feels like a perfect opportunity for Trish to be like, "Ooh, it's working! It's working!" But they didn't do that. They did, however, do a really cool thing here where she is describing the stories she's heard about the Jedi. You're probably better off down here anyway. Everybody up there is super fake, and the Jedi, and getting us into this war and stuff. And I really liked watching Ahsoka in this moment kind of want to be defensive immediately, but also she's really good at listening. And she says, it's almost kind of like she's saying she didn't jump to a conclusion to say this person's clearly wrong. Everybody knows this. She took the time to listen to this person and think, is this really how everybody down here, or even someone in the what do they call it? The not the outer rim, but the core planets. I don't think that's the right term, but the close planets where people consider them to be really rich. I mean, Coruscant is the home of the Jedi, and yet people on the planet itself are still like, yeah, the Jedi kind of suck. So she's listening, and I thought that was really cool. I liked that scene a lot. A couple minutes later, or moments, we get a character that walks in and they're requesting their money, and they said, hey, I had a deal with so-and-so. This was kind of stupid, but what it led to is Trace getting into a fight, Ahsoka just kind of letting it happen, watching it happen. And then when Ahsoka steps in, she very elegantly just disables these guys. You know what I mean? Just they were absolutely no match, and it wasn't even just she destroyed them, but not even in an aggressive way. It almost felt like a ballet dance. Just the way she was moving around, and she's like, okay, I'm just gonna kick here, and then I'll just go ducking and up, and then the other person's done, and I don't know, it was kind of interesting. I don't know if I liked it or not, to be honest with you. I was like, kind of like, this feels a little weird. This feels like there might have been a simpler way, but she's doing all these poses and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess it was cool. I liked seeing her fight like that. So yeah. The deal is getting more confusing. I don't know what's happening. She definitely works for them now. Like, I think there's like literally like, you're new around here, and I'm like, how is this not? Who the heck are you? I've never seen you before. What are you doing here? Why are you telling me to run my business? But they act like the three of them are in this together, and they've been in business for a long time, and this is the first time Ahsoka is showing some sort of pushback. It's like, who are you? I don't know who you are. You don't work for us, but apparently she does work for them. She's working on these droids now. I get the deal for Ahsoka. I do. She needs a place to work. She's like, I'll take any opportunity. I don't have anywhere to go. I have no plans. But it's really weird that someone in 1313 would be like, oh, that guy's bike broken. How about a job? How about we're best friends? How about we go on an adventure together? Like, that is weird to me. But I don't know. I guess you could just feel the spirit of Ahsoka and recognize that she's not out to get anybody, but she's a legitimately good person. She's trying to help her out. Yeah, let's go with that. Tuca cats. Gotta point them out. I just thought they were cool. All running out. Literally, I watched the show with subtitles. It says cats meowing, and I was like, that's funny. I think it was spoken directly, but it was a cool callback to Phantom Menace. Which is funny because I was talking earlier about the "it's working," and then like a few minutes later you hear a "hit the nose." Like, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I think, like I said, I think they actually said "hit the nose," or "on the nose," maybe. I don't know, which is kind of funny because it's also on the nose. But no, I thought of Phantom Menace, and I thought, oh, so there was kind of a direct or cutesy little Phantom Menace quote in here somewhere. So yeah. This was massively predictable. As soon as I see the thing starting to topple over the cliff or whatever, I actually expected Ahsoka to use it quicker, but instead she jumps off, she grabs the cable, she starts doing the thing, and I was like, oh, all right, well, problem solved. Problem not solved. It's still falling. But I was like, just do it. Just get to the point. She's gonna have to use the Force in order to save her. And then I thought she was gonna get noticed by Trace, but she actually got noticed just kind of like by some civilians and stuff. But this is, I don't want to say a trope, but we've seen stuff like this before in all movies. The one that pops off right in my head, it's not even a movie, it's another Star Wars property, was Fallen Order. Is, you find yourself in a situation where you're like, oh crap, if I don't do something, if I don't reach out with the Force, even though I've kind of been closed off to it, then this person's gonna get hurt needlessly. So they use the Force and then they get like exposed or whatever. Interestingly enough, she didn't get exposed, but I knew that's where the scene was going. She's gonna be in danger. Ahsoka's gonna have to use the Force, and it's going to be like a little bit of an admittance that Jedi spirit is still inside her. Lastly, as we're closing up the episode, there's this big like moving aerial shot coming down on this dock area, and it's just beautiful. Like, I was like, this just looks so awesome. I love the way they're like saying like the ships are docking here. There seemed to be like some sort of like restaurant. It seemed to be like this open area, even though you're underground. I think that stuff is really cool. The whole exchange at the end was kind of weird. I don't really care. Like, oh, you sold the robots, then they are bad robots, and I don't care. Whatever. But the point here is that despite the fact that they went on this weird little adventure or whatever, they're still friends. They're still going to work together. Let's go. Let's go get that speeder working. That's fine with me. That's the end of the episode. Like I said, I gave it that score 6 because I just feel like anything that happened in this, whether it be like the demolition droid running away, that I can't imagine that being part of the bigger story. Trace's background dealings with these guys and the aliens that she's working with to make money, not a part of the bigger story. I don't think we're going to see those guys again. If not, they just like show up for a second just to repeat their role and let them know she's still kind of in that same situation. There's not a whole lot to this episode. I think it's just kind of like an appetizer, a setup for later episodes that I'll inevitably give 8s and 8.5s and 9s to. So that's it. Well, thanks for watching. This is the end of the Clone Wars fan show, episode 5. If you guys haven't yet, consider subscribing. We do a lot of this content. We're regularly putting out episodes of the Resistance broadcast on Mondays and Thursdays. John is doing his rumor reviews that he runs down. Lacey's doing Lacey's Outpost and other things where she's reviewing toys and other little things like that. Plus, randomly, you're going to see things where we talk about like the documentary on the Rise of Skywalker digital release. There's lots of content here on StarWarsNewsNet.com. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment. Let's get some conversation going. As these episodes have progressed, I'm noticing more and more comments, people willing to jump in, giving their opinions on certain episodes. I like that. Let's have a talk. Let's have a discussion. And if you are someone who's commenting on the video, comment on other people's comments. Don't just have a conversation with me. Let's have conversations with each other. Like, I really liked this scene. I really liked it too. Let's get going. Let's meet some new friends. Let's build community. That's what the Resistance is all about. So until episode 6, I'll see you guys later.